Mission.
Good morning, I'm Dara Brown. There's breaking news at this hour from Orlando, where there are reports of a shooting at a nightclub in that city. NBC's Sarah Dalloff is on the phone near the scene. And Sarah, good morning to you. What are you seeing in Orlando?
Good morning. You know, this is a huge, massive scene. It just keeps getting bigger. We're here at the intersection of Orange and Miller. We are just blocks outside of downtown, near this nightclub where the shooting supposedly happened. About 30 to 40 police cars that we can see from our vantage point here on scene. We've got a police helicopter in the sky. And what's unusual about this is usually at these scenes, it's chaotic and there's noise, there's people yelling and sirens. There's none of that here. It's very quiet, which leads us to believe that this is still an ongoing, active scene here. We've been talking to some of the witnesses who described just horror inside this nightclub. One man saying he was taking a break from dancing. He was headed to the bathroom when automatic gunfire, he believes, is what he heard, rang out. He ran to the bathroom along with a crowd of people barricading themselves inside. He said it was this mix of gunshots and club music, the thumping of club music, and then all of a sudden it was just very quiet. He doesn't know how long they stayed in there, but some police officers eventually opened the door and told them to run outside. He was still looking for several of his friends. He couldn't get them to pick up the phone. Just talked to another gentleman who was helping with the wounded, taking off the bandana he was wearing on his head to use as a tourniquet on one man, helping another man walk outside, getting him to safety so he could have medical attention. Very upsetting, understandably, the things that these people have seen. They're trying to process them out here as police continue to work out here, and this helicopter hovers above us at the scene.
Sarah, you mentioned that you had spoken to witnesses that are outside of the club. Do you have any word if anybody is still possibly inside the club? There's
just so much information going on right now, and we don't know what is true and what is confirmed and what is not right now. We are hearing those things. We're hearing a lot of things right now. There's a press conference coming up in the next few minutes with the police chief of the Orlando Police Department. We hope to get some information on the record, some confirmed information about exactly what's going on here, if there are people being held as hostages, if there are people trapped inside, and the extent of the injuries and the deaths here tonight.
And Sarah, another question. Do we know how many people are possibly involved in this? Obviously, the patrons have gotten out of the club and police sort of cleared the area. If they're looking by helicopter, do we have any indication if maybe there's somebody on the loose, or if they are focusing more on somebody that's inside the club?
I can only tell you what I see right now, and that is that the helicopter seems to be very concentrated. It's not going on the streets. It's not going up boulevards. It seems to be focused on right in the immediate area surrounding the nightclub. As far as the number of people who may be involved, that's also something we're hearing a lot of different numbers about right now. We've heard 2 or 3. We've heard 1. These are eyewitness reports from people who were inside the crowded nightclub who are still processing what they've seen. So I really hesitate to put a number on the amount of alleged attackers who may have been inside this nightclub right now.
And you said you spoke to some of the witnesses. They mentioned that people had been screaming and then they were hiding out for a while. Do we have an approximate time of when this all happened in Orlando?
This happened right around 2 a.m. local time in Orlando, is our understanding. The club, you know, it's Saturday night here. There was an outdoor concert. People were just keeping the night going. It's a popular nightclub. It was full at the time, and the party, you know, not winding down at 2 in the morning here in Florida. The nightclub did post on their Facebook something to the extent of, I'm not going to quote it verbatim here, but everybody get out, everybody run.
And it sounds like the police were very quickly to respond to this area. You mentioned that there had been about 30 to 40 police cars in this area. How much of the area has been cordoned off? How much of it has been sort of cleared so the police can get in there and do their job?
So we have at least a block and a half between us, where the perimeter starts on this end, and the nightclub. And so I can only assume the scene, I can only assume that extends in a circle around the nightclub right now. So quite a bit of it shut down. They're urging people, you know, it's not a lot of traffic right now, but they are urging people to kind of avoid this area. You can't get through. There's a very hard police line set up right now.
And what about the other patrons that were fleeing this scene? Have police been talking to them, trying to find out what's been going on?
I'm sure they have. There's just so many people right now, and people just fled outside of that nightclub. And so people are just kind of hanging out on the edges of the scene right now. Police will be taking statements for days to come, I'm sure, about what people saw, what they witnessed. And it's awful out here.
Sarah, thank you so much for this. Sarah Dolph reporting from Orlando, where there have been reports of a shooting at a nightclub in this city. Now we're going to go back to our program.